Welcome back to another edition of Weekly Sports Talk. Alongside Kalehl Brown and our special guest, Bennett Ford, I'm Jared Hilton. Iowa basketball team picked up a win against Penn State, 77-64. That improves them to 13-11 on the season. Hockey guys are struggling a little bit. They've won some big games, really up and down for them. But getting that win against Penn State was a big win for them, something they really needed, and they'll be playing tonight at Northwestern, so they'll be looking to pick up their 14th win on the season. What do you think of them, and what do you plan to see out of them in the Big Ten tournament? I mean, chance of them winning it, probably not happening, but do you think they can make a run? Do you think they can make a statement? Do you think they can make knock somebody off?
Yeah, Iowa's a team that hasn't been exactly playing the most consistent this year. They've had good wins against teams like Michigan and Minnesota, losing to little teams that you haven't thought would be as good, like Penn State, teams that you thought would get a win at Northwestern, things like that. But Iowa's just trying to get improving every day with the new coach, Fran McCaffrey, and everything like that. Going into the Big Ten tournament, hopefully they can just keep improving. They might have a chance, with the lower seed to try to upset one of the higher seeds in the Big Ten tournament, have a chance going on from there, but it's going to be tough for them to try to win it. That's the only chance they have of getting to the tournament. But, maybe if they come out and play the best basketball of the season, they have a chance with the good players like Matt Gaines, Josh Oglesby, Basabi, and everything like that. So hopefully, they have a chance to make the tournament this year and win the Big Ten tournament.
I mean, Iowa does have the opportunity to pull off an Indiana State like last year. You just have to come ready to play basketball come tournament time. Anybody can win any game at any given time. So you just got to hope and play some good basketball in the Big Ten tournament.
Yeah, when you get there, it's not even really about the best team. It's about who's hot, who's on a streak, who's feeling it. Anybody can win any game there. Iowa State lost against Oklahoma State on the road 69-67 the other night. Saw the ending of that game. They had a layup at the last second, got rejected. They beat Oklahoma State at home earlier this season, so they couldn't beat Oklahoma State for the second time, but they played them extremely close. ISU's having a really good season. Big 12 tournament coming up. What are their expectations? What do you see out of them? And for the rest of the season here, what do you think we can expect out of them?
With the loss to Oklahoma State, I think that puts them at 17-7, which I think has the best record in the state of Iowa, as big as the top three schools of UNI, Iowa, and Iowa State. They're a really good team. They're hot when they need to. They've had big wins against Kansas. A good basketball team, have lots and lots of talent. I don't think they're going to win the Big 12 tournament. They might go far in it. Maybe quarterfinals or, who knows? Like we said, you just have to be hot. Who's hot at the moment and who's able to win basketball games when the going gets tough.
Yeah, Iowa State's a team that you could definitely argue being in the top 25, with wins against Kansas State. They've been playing some really good basketball as of lately, It's a 2-point loss to Oklahoma State. It's nothing that they really should be ashamed of. Oklahoma State's a pretty good team there themselves. So, Iowa State's been playing some good basketball, and they've been on a roll lately. And in the Big 12 tournament, like you're saying, it's about who's getting hot, and they've been playing really good. So if they can keep continuing and improving to get better in practice, as Big 12 tournament comes, they have a chance to get in that quarterfinals, semifinals range maybe. They have a good argument to be in the tournament, in the NCAA tournament, maybe without making a Big 12 win in the tournament. So you never know. It could happen.
And they can definitely be one of those teams that goes far in an NIT-type tournament where it's not as big of a stage, but you're still getting postseason play. You're still playing really good teams. It's all about postseason play for me. You gotta win games when the going gets tough.
UNI is coming off that big home win against Creighton in front of a packed house at the McLeod Center, 65-62 on a last-second three-pointer by Anthony James, knocking off number 13 ranked Creighton, who then lost to Wichita State last night. So that's the first time Creighton's picked up 2 losses in a row this season, 21-4 now. For UNI, that was a big win. McDermott coming back. The place was rocking. You have to think with the tournament coming up, that has to give them a lot of momentum, a lot of confidence. So, what do you think UNI's expectations are for the tournament?
Yeah, I actually got the opportunity to go watch that Creighton game last Saturday. Unreal atmosphere. Place was packed. Everybody was feeling good about that team. UNI just came out and played the best basketball they've played all season. Last night against Wichita State, they did not play the best basketball they've played this season. Wichita State also has a solid team sitting up second in the MVC right now. They made 4 3-pointers in the first couple minutes. All fell, and UNI fell into a hole. It was 15-5 within the first 2 minutes of the game or something like that. UNI could make a run in the tournament.
Yeah, UNI could definitely make a run in the tournament. They're a very good team. Like we said, they beat Creighton, and they can play with anyone in the Missouri Valley when they want to, when they have a good game. They're a very talented team with a lot of players who can score the ball, and they're a very good defensive team and helping out one another. It's just going to come down to how much they want it and how much, this season has not been the one that they've wanted. So how much do they want it when it comes down to the Missouri Valley Conference? And I know that they can stick with a lot of teams and have a chance to win it all so they can make the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, for this group of players, the last 2 seasons haven't been the seasons they've wanted to have. Lucas O'Rear getting injured the end of last season kind of hurt their paint presence, and losing in the one of the postseason tournaments. They had just a real solid team of Kajoa Heligwa last year, and Johnny Moran's a great senior to have. One senior in your senior class is just unreal to have. Again, Seth Tuttle, real good in the paint, freshman. They have the talent. They just need to use that talent and hopefully get themselves somewhere in the tournament.
And the boys basketball, they blew Cedar Rapids, Washington right out of their gym. But the actual highlight of that game was senior manager George Aaronholz getting to start and then near the end of the game draining a 3, which was just amazing to see. It was just one of those moments that you mentally capture, and it's emotional. It's one of those times when sports become bigger than a sport, because something like that can mean so much to a person like George. And George is a great guy, and he's been there all year. He manages football, basketball. He loves sports. He loves the team. And for him to come in and hit that, and the place going bananas, Tom Bardahl called timeout right after that. George got a standing ovation, and absolutely touching. But how'd you guys play, and what did you think of that game?
Yeah, I thought we played pretty well. The team wasn't very good. Cedar Rapids Washington is a winless team, but we came out. We knew we had to play our best basketball. We know we can't play at other teams' level. We're trying to improve and get better each and every game and every practice to try to be the best possible team we can be going into sub-state and hopefully get a chance to play in the McLeod Center. And then, going to state, we really think we have a good chance at winning a state championship this season. If we all get our act together, we start playing our best basketball, and our chemistry gets really good, I think we have a chance to win it all and bring the first state championship back to Cedar Falls this year.
George is one of the most giving people I know at Cedar Falls High School. Has done so much work the last 3 years, managing football and basketball. I wish I could have seen it, gone on the road and seen that. He's an unbelievable kid, has an unbelievable story.
Yeah, he's just one of those upbeat kids that you want to be around. You never see him getting down on himself. He's really just upbeat and positive, and everybody around him's that way because of his attitude. The girls were on the road at Washington. They pulled out a squeaker there just by a couple points. Of course, the girls playing in what's easily the toughest conference in Iowa in 4A girls class basketball. That's a big win for them. They got some momentum. They're moving now. They got on Friday, the boys will be playing. Boys and girls varsity teams will be playing Waterloo West at home. So obviously that's a big game for both of them. What are they going to try and do there Friday? And based on their last game at West, what are their expectations?
Yeah, the girls have been playing pretty well lately, actually. That's a big win versus Washington, a top 10 team in the state. They just got out there and hit some shots, and they've been playing, helping each other out one another on defense and just getting the great boards and everything like that. They're working really hard to become a better team, and they think they have the possibility to play the state. You know what I mean? They think they can play with a lot of teams out there in the state, and that they just keep improving, limit turnovers, hit shots. You know what I mean? And just create some turnovers on defense as well. They just, they're a good team, and they get a chance to be a top 10 team in the state as well. And coming up, a rivalry versus West. West is another top. It's 12, 15 team in the state. It's going to be a tough matchup, but if they come out there and they're playing well and, they're doing the things that they need to do to get a win, I think they can do that playing at home.
Super Bowl Sunday was just this past Sunday. The Giants over the Pats, 21-17. There was just enough drama that it kept you watching the whole game. It was a great game. Mario Manningham had that huge catch for Eli Manning to set up that game-winning drive for the New York Giants. What'd you see from that game?
Well, let me start off by saying the commercials blew. So I was a little disappointed there. I thought they could have stepped it up a little bit, take it to the next notch, but they weren't on their game. So maybe next year they'll get a chance to redeem themselves. But as far as the game went, Eli Manning just looked stellar. He really impressed me. Tom Brady, less than impressive. First play of the game, throws it away, gets an intentional grounding in his own end zone. Safety, not how you want to start the game. They're 9 minutes in to the game. Giants have a 9-0 lead, and Tom Brady's touched the ball once. You have a problem. You're on pace for your quarterback to touch the ball about 5 times that game. That's just not going to work. So they had terrible field position for the first half. Everything went wrong. Down the stretch, Brady had trouble hitting his guys, and when he did find a guy and hit him, they weren't catching the ball. I mean, if his receivers would have came through, if he would have hit his spots a little bit better, they would have had a better chance coming back, winning that game, rather than throwing up a Hail Mary at the end.
Yeah. I thought both defenses actually stepped up and played a really good game. The Patriots defense is one of the worst-ranked defense coming into the playoffs and the Super Bowl, but I thought they did a really good job of containing the Giants' high-powered offense, and the same with the Giants' defense and getting pass rush on Tom Brady. And you could tell that Tom Brady just wasn't himself. He's a little flustered by that great pass rush of the Giants, but I thought it was a really good game. Both teams fought really hard for that, and now there's going to be this discussion of whether people think Eli is better than Peyton now with his 2 rings and to Peyton's 1, but it's going to be a good argument to see down the road if people really think that finishing Eli's career than finishing Peyton's career.
Yeah, I do have to give credit to the Giants. Unbelievable heart, winning on the road every single playoff game they played in. The Pats just came out looking sluggish. I think they had a little bit too much confidence coming into the Super Bowl. Eli Manning going 9 for 9 in the first quarter, I think is what it was, and had over 100 yards. Even through having 2 tight ends get injured and leave the game, that shows incredible heart by the Giants to pull out and win the game.
So now that Manning has his 2nd Super Bowl ring under his belt, brother Peyton has 1. Is Eli a better quarterback than Peyton? So far in his career, has his career been more impressive than Peyton's? And do you think Eli is a Hall of Fame caliber quarterback? And do you think Peyton's Hall of Fame caliber?
I think Eli and Peyton are both Hall of Fame caliber quarterbacks. Peyton's just been in the league a little bit longer, has a couple 1,000 more yards than Eli. Eli does have a ring on him. Yeah, I mean, I think Eli just needs to be in the league a little bit longer. I mean, who knows how many championships he can win for as long as he plays. Peyton, I think, will be known as one of the best top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL. Has a great career. We'll see how the neck injury affects him if he comes back playing for the Colts or for some other team. But I do expect both of them to be in the Hall of Fame someday.
Yeah, Eli with his 2 rings, Peyton with his 1. I know people have said in the NBA, NFL, NHL, it's all about getting the rings, the championships. But it's hard to say that. You can't really say that because Dan Marino was one of the best quarterbacks of all time, top 10 probably, and he never had a championship ring. And so it's hard to say that technically for when you're talking about quarterbacks, you can go by statistics. And right now, Peyton's better than Eli in that category when it comes to regular season. In playoffs, Eli plays really well, but it's hard to say that in Eli's young career, but that he's better than Peyton is right now, because statistically it doesn't show that. But at the end of the day, I think they're both Hall of Fame quarterbacks. I think they're both really good, and they've been able to learn and feed off each other and everything like that, and it's a good situation going on there. But right now I think it's too early to say which of the 2 is better. But when it's all said and done, I think we'll be able to tell statistically and with the championship rings. But now it's too early.
Coming from somebody who has 2 older brothers, and my achievements have been kind of compared to my 2 older brothers, I kind of feel for Eli. He just needs more experience in the league. He's only had a career probably of 5 or 6 years in the NFL, if that. Already shown he's a great quarterback by winning 2 Super Bowls early on in his career.
So let me ask you this: if you were starting an expansion team, would you rather have your quarterback be Aaron Rodgers or Eli Manning, and why?
I'd probably have to go with Aaron Rodgers, because statistically, when you're looking at it, Aaron Rodgers from a individual standpoint, he had the MVP this year, and he's had 2 really outstanding seasons. I don't think anyone's been playing better than he has. He's really hot these last 2 years. Eli's a great quarterback, and I loved him to be on my team. But the way that Aaron Rodgers is playing, you really can't deny him. He's probably arguably the best quarterback in the league right now. So I'd probably have to say Aaron Rodgers.
When you look at Eli's got 2 rings, Rodgers has 1 ring. I mean, Eli's winning more than Aaron Rodgers is.
Now, Aaron Rodgers had, I think, 12 straight wins to begin the season, and the Giants were maybe 500 at the middle of the season. Aaron Rodgers has won more games than Eli Manning. If I would choose both of them. They're great quarterbacks. They have both real good skill sets. Both real good quarterbacks have great arm strength and incredible accuracy. Aaron Rodgers has, again, been in the league longer, has more experience than Eli Manning. I think if I had to choose one, I'd go with Aaron Rodgers just because he knows how to win games. So does Eli Manning, though. I mean, he's had 2 unbelievable comebacks in Super Bowls. You can't base it off of rings. You have to base it on playing experience and league experience.
For another edition of Weekly Sports Talk, alongside Kalehl Brown and our special guest Bennett Ford, I'm Jared Hilton.